Absolutely, George, and thank you very much for having me. There's no question that people are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that
The White House and the current administration continues to contradict themselves when it comes to these mysterious drones that are floating in the skies now all around America. It was just New Jersey, but we didn't stop the problem there, so now it's basically everywhere. And, they'll say, hey, the drones pose no threat. The drones pose no threat. And then they'll say, but we don't know what the drones are, where they come from. But then they'll turn around and say, hey, the drones don't exist. Everyone's crazy. Everyone's seeing things. There's nothing happening at all. And then an hour later, the FAA comes out and says, hey, we're willing to use deadly force against the drones. You're going to use deadly force against drones that don't exist? And then the White House will come out, they'll acknowledge that the drones are real, and then 2 days later they say they're fake. And then they all release this big joint statement saying, hey, whatever these things are, they're operating legally. People are legally operating drones, and people are legally flying airplanes, and everyone's crazy, everyone's mistaken. And then 2 hours later, they come out and say, hey, we're restricting certain airspace. We're banning drone flights. Remember the drones we said didn't exist? Well, now we're banning them from flying in the sky. So it's like a total contradiction. And I don't know. Are they doing this on purpose to confuse people? Because I'm kind of stuck here. I'm not going to lie, ladies and gentlemen. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Because half of me is wondering, are they purposely spreading confusion to throw people off the trail and, to stop people from figuring out what's going on here? Or is our country run by a bunch of incompetent assholes who have been caught with their pants down, who can't get their shit together, and are all scrambling, wondering what in the hell is going on, just like us? Because I know that we want to believe that they got it all together, that they know exactly what is going on. And maybe that's what they want you to believe. Maybe our government wants you to believe that they're more powerful than what they are. Maybe our government wants you to believe that they're more organized than what they really are. Maybe they want to give that impression to the entire world so the world doesn't come messing with us. But then when the world does come messing with us and flying drones, we get caught with our pants down. The emperor has no clothes. We aren't as strong as you think. Our defenses, our our radar systems, what have you. Maybe we're just not really as ready as we thought. And while I still think this may be some sort of psyop, and I'll never trust what they tell us, I'm really starting to question if this is just, a lot of us find it hard to believe that America is this incompetent, but maybe they are. And folks, it's not about the equipment that we have. It's about who's running the show. You can have the most high-tech equipment. You can have the most powerful military. If you have a bad commander who's calling the shots and giving bad orders, then it is what it is. So it doesn't matter if we have the most advanced technology that could stop anyone from flying near us, or we could track anything. It doesn't matter, because if people aren't given the orders to do so, if there's not a good commander, if there's not good leadership, then everything else falls apart. And right now it looks like America has fallen apart. There's no reason why we should be scrambling and getting 15 different narratives about what's going on here. The White House, the Biden administration contradicting themselves every single freaking day. They can't even come up with a good explanation. At least come up with a good explanation that some people will believe, but they don't even put effort into doing that anymore. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, they used to put forth a lot of effort to cover up their lies and the crazy stuff they had going on. Now they don't even try to do that. So I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm not the only one that's feeling this way. And we even got mayors and senators calling this stuff out. In fact, one New Jersey senator was just on the news talking about this problem. So I want to go ahead and roll this clip. Let's listen to what he has to say, and then I'll be right back with more.
We spoke with you last week. Your comments resonated with our viewers who have also been frustrated by a lack of information. Tell us now, after we last spoke, what are you hearing when it comes to the drone investigation? Are you getting the answers you were demanding?
Just the opposite. It is so inconsistent. So originally we met with the state police. They didn't have any idea. People were being concerned. And then there were these secret meetings, Congress people, I assume the governor, and they said, listen, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Federal government at the beginning said, you're not seeing what you're seeing. So people started to feel a little better. And then the FAA shut down the airspace. Now, if there's nothing going on, why do you shut down the airspace? We never got an answer to why they did that. So what we have in communities now, sky watchers. In Mendham, New Jersey, they actually go out at night and watch the sky. Mayors call me and say, what should we do? You know, the federal government has to either say everything's absolutely perfect, there's no threat, but you can't hedge your bets. You can't say there's no threat and then shut down the airspace. That is so inconsistent that people are now terribly confused.
It's safe to say you are not satisfied, along with your constituents, rightfully so. You did call for an additional FAA restrictions on drones in your state in New Jersey. The FAA has since imposed that. Have you seen an impact from that ban so far in your state?
Well, the impact is there may be less sightings, but there's more confusion. And when you have more confusion, you have more conspiracy theories. More conspiracy theories. Now people are saying things that create fear. And the last thing you want with the public is fear. What you want is transparency and information, and we're not getting it.
Why do you think the ban took so long? Should it have been enacted earlier or sooner?
Of course, but we still don't know why. If you're going to say everything's okay and then you do the ban, obviously things were not okay, and therefore they should have done the ban earlier.
Your fellow New Jersey official, Andy Kim, posted on Friday that detection resources have increased, reported sightings are down. Does that satisfy you a bit? And what do you want to see done next, Senator?
Well, what really confused me, they sent drone detection techniques or I guess whatever they sent makes no sense. Doesn't the federal government, don't they watch the skies? Doesn't the Department of Defense watch? They're sending us drone watching equipment to the state of New Jersey? Why? I have figured the Defense Department watches the sky all the time. That's even more scary to me. They're sending us the equipment. Don't they watch if there's an SUV-sized drone in the sky? Doesn't the Air Force know that? Now they're sending it to us, and then they're shutting down the airspace in places. This is so confusing. There must be something going on. Just tell us. We can take the truth.
Well, now I have to ask, because Senator Kim has also recommended law enforcement in New Jersey be trained on identifying drones. What do you think is the best way to prevent this from happening again?
How about the federal government? They have the ability to shoot down a drone in the Ukraine. They can follow a drone from the time it takes off until the time it lands. And they want to train us? I'll tell you, that's worrisome. I figured our country was well defended against drones the size of SUVs that are flying around. I guess they want the state to do more than we're doing. We don't have those resources. State police have a few helicopters. That's it. To train people to what? Wait, here it is. They're going to train us so we know what we're looking at. How about just telling us what's going on and we don't have to look up in the sky? People ask me, what should I do? I said, don't look up.
Are your constituents still panicked, Senator? You mentioned a lot of them were, rightfully so, last week.
Well, New Jersey people don't tend to panic too quickly. There's a lot of discussion. There's some people extremely worried. I don't think anyone's panicking now. If one of these things lands and the Martians get out, maybe they'll panic. I think they're confused. That's the first question people ask me about. Tell us about the drones. It's a secret, right? But you can tell me. I go like this. Nobody knows anything about what these drones are doing, except when you go to a closed private briefing with people who have top secret clearance. How about this? Tell the people something, but it's been so inconsistent. You tell me, we have no answers.
Thank you. He made a great point that I've been trying to make for a while here. You see, the current administration, the White House's and the Pentagon's response to these crazy drone sightings is they're sending drone detecting equipment to New Jersey and New York, and in reality, they're sending old, outdated equipment. But the fact that they're sending this equipment in the first place should be very alarming to you. It's not comforting. This is not an answer. In fact, it lets you know that we're not as prepared as we thought. Just like I was talking about at the beginning of this video. I think there's a big chance that maybe there isn't a big conspiracy here. Maybe the conspiracy is that we think the U.S. government and our military is more powerful than what we actually think. Or maybe we think they're more powerful than what they actually are. Because, yeah, it should be concerning that they're like, oh, you got these crazy SUV-sized drones flying over your military bases for months. Well, I guess we'll send drone detecting technology. Shouldn't y'all already have that technology out there? Is our country really being defended in the way it should be right now? So you mean to tell me that y'all weren't already on top of this? Like the U.S. military, the Department of Homeland Security, y'all aren't already on top of the drones? You aren't already detecting the drones yourself? You're trying to send New Jersey and New York and other states this equipment, and you want to train, I guess, local law enforcement to use it because it's not already in use? We shouldn't be hearing about them sending any equipment to New Jersey or New York because we should have the most advanced drone detecting systems already out here to ensure the safety of our country, but it turns out we don't. It turns out we don't. And that right there is disturbing because you would think that they already got that under control. Why are you sending random law enforcement drone detecting equipment? Shouldn't the military already have this under control? Isn't that kind of above their pay grade? Or I don't want to put it like that, but you know what I'm saying. Isn't that like not part of their job? You know what I mean? It's weird. This is like a job for our military and for the Department of Homeland Security. I think this is a job that's above local law enforcement. I understand why they're involved, but we shouldn't be hearing about, oh, we're going to send you some outdated equipment so maybe you can detect some of these drones because the U.S. military isn't doing so. We have no idea what's flying over our borders, what's coming in off of our coast. So yeah, that right there lets you know that regardless of what is going on here, we're not as well defended as you thought. We're not as organized as you thought. And the rest of the world is figuring that out. Because we've been bluffing for a long time, and the rest of the world was buying that bluff, but they're no longer buying it. And that's why you see Chinese nationals getting arrested every few weeks for spying on our military bases. That's why you see all of these countries acting up. But, hey, as I keep saying, people won't take it seriously until an attack happens, and when it does, people will act confused as to how it happened. Meanwhile, the people of New Jersey, who have been screaming about these drones, are now drinking smelly tap water that smells and tastes like metallic nail polish because the water supply has been tainted. Who knows why? But anyways, let me know your thoughts below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.